And as we approach the end of this edition of News and Views this morning, Nigeria and South Africa strengthen ties, boosting cooperation in infrastructure and mining. To talk to us about this is journalist Immam Shuaib, talking to us live out of Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum and welcome, Immam.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning from Nigeria.
Good morning. Um, Imam, Nigeria and South Africa are working to deepen their bilateral relations in areas like infrastructure and mining. What does this collaboration mean for both countries, and why are these sectors so important right now?
Okay. Nigeria is trying to sign an MOU with South Africa with respect to development of infrastructure and the mining sector. Essentially, this is a very bold step that both countries have taken to ensure the development of their infrastructure and the mining sector. I think this basically is under the auspices of the Africa Continental Trade Agreement. That is,
Mm-hmm.
this is to ensure cooperation between African countries for development of their respective countries, specifically and generally development of the continent in general. What this means is that each country has its area of comparative advantage. And by the time they come together, they are better off at every stage. For instance, Nigeria has, deposit of mineral resources like gold, like lithium, like coal, and so on, and steel. Nigeria has them in abundance, and South Africa has, expertise in terms of the development of these resources. So if these two countries come together, of course, it will bring about development, it will bring about improvement in their, respective sector of the economy. That is one. Also, if this bilateral agreement, it will bring about infrastructural development for each of the countries. Of course, South Africa is ahead of Nigeria in terms of infrastructure. So Nigeria will leverage on the experience and the expertise that South Africa has to be able to develop its own sector. Particularly as the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is committed to the development of the country, is committed to development of infrastructure in the country. We have seen, bold steps he has taken in terms of construction of roads from Lagos to South Nigeria. So this is a step in the right direction. Both countries will
Mm-hmm.
collaborate, of course, brings about improvement in their infrastructure and bring about improvement in their mining sector. Particularly, South Africa has also advanced in terms of its mining sector. The mining sector of South Africa contributes about close to 50% of its export and about 7 to 8 of its GDP. While Nigeria is still at the developmental stage, is still trying to improve its mining sector, which is contributing just about 0.5%, less than 1% of the GDP. So this collaboration will bring about exchange of ideas, brings about development infrastructure. It will create job for both countries, and it will
Yes.
strengthen the bond between African countries and bring about overall continental development.
Right. So I think part of my next question you've already answered, but in terms of the collaboration, we also, you spoke about employment as well on both sides. But there's also the collaboration on the certification of Nigerian mining professionals, which is very, encouraging. What is the significance of this initiative for the Nigerian mining sector? Yes, of course, it's employment, but overall.
Yeah, essentially, like I said earlier, the Nigerian mining sector is still at its developmental stage. It has not developed fully. So, like some just a few moments ago, or like a few months ago, the government revoked about 1,600 licenses of miners. So these are
Mm-hmm.
miners that are ineffective, and then because they don't have the expertise, because they don't have the resources to develop that sector. about 1,600 of their licenses have been revoked. So the idea now is for Nigeria to benefit from the expertise that South Africa has, so that we can have certified miners, we can have certified people who can participate in the sector and bring about development in the sector. So the significance is that Nigeria has the opportunity to be able to get certified, trained and certified by South African experts, so that the sector can be developed instead of issuing licenses that people that don't have experts in that area.
Right. Looking at the broader African context, how do you think Nigeria and South Africa's partnership can influence other African countries in terms of cooperation in key sectors like mining and infrastructure?
Yeah, of course, we know that Nigeria and South Africa are the largest economy as far as Africa is concerned. So this development will bring about, what we call trickle down effect. If these two big countries cooperate together and they achieve, results, there will be trickle down effect, and it will serve as a model for other member countries of Africa, and it will bring about development, expanded development for other countries. There will be shared experience. There will be cooperation between Nigeria and some other countries, cooperation between South Africa and some other countries. If Nigeria collaborates with South Africa and they get result and it yielded result, of course, other countries will take or borrow leaf from that partnership.
Right. Now, Imam, if I may, it all sounds very good on paper and it's really very encouraging, and we see this wonderful development taking place for the African continent. So when we talk about it, it's just like we say on paper. I don't want to sound like there's doom and gloom here, but how soon can we see this actually taking place and becoming a reality?
Okay, essentially, if you look at the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it is his leadership style is tilted towards private sector development, like giving opportunity to private sectors to develop the economy. So he's much into public-private partnership for development. So this is an opportunity, and that's why these licenses that were revoked, it will give opportunity for experts, attract experts to invest in these sectors. And when you have the experts and relevant investors to invest, it will bring about development. It will bring about partnership. It will bring about, of course, just recently this administration set up the Solid Mineral Development Fund, and the essence is to develop the solid mineral sector. So this is the essence. All things are set based on the commitment of the present administration to ensure that things are put in place for it to start soonest. Of course, the MOU signing will take place very soon, and of course, that will mark
Okay.
the beginning of the development.
Right. So both countries have played a significant role in promoting peace and development in Africa. How can their enhanced cooperation further contribute to regional stability and prosperity?
Yes, of course, these are Africa, Nigeria, and South Africa are like the big brothers in the African continent. So if there is
Mm-hmm.
cooperation and support between one another, of course, like Nigeria have been supporting peace, peacekeeping in across Africa. South Africa is also giving its own contribution. So if they are united in this same objective of promoting peace and peaceful coexistence among the countries, of course, it will bring about it will enhance peace and of course unity among African continents, and bring about economic cooperation, bring about political cooperation, and so on.
Right, wonderful. Imam Shuaib talking to us live from Nigeria. He is a Nigerian based journalist. Thank you very much for spending your time with us and sharing that information. We did end this discussion and this program for this morning on a very nice, high, positive note. We look
Thank you.
forward to
Thank
our
you.
collaboration with your country, inshallah.
Very soon, inshallah. Inshallah. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right, that's just about wraps up this edition of News and Views. It was my absolute pleasure to spend this time with you from 8 o'clock this morning right up until now. I want to thank my team behind the scenes. Putte has been superly efficient on the engineering desk. And so has Nasrin Naidu, executive producer of this program. I must say they do a lot of hard work behind the scenes. So we thank them, and I thank you for staying with us. Inshallah, until we meet again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.